particular, reminding us why he was considered the best support in LPL for quite a period of time, especially during the BLG peak of 2024. But Erha, after gaming, want to join them, and they want to knock down BLG a peg. If Schwinn makes a gank on the bot side, the magical journey. Hello, old friend. Unfortunately, it's a gank against you, and Schwinn picks up first blood.
Yeah, there was no ward to be able to spot that out, and on T-steps.
Definitely thought that BLG were about to send another magical journey over the wall. They're going to do it anyway. Double cosmic binding lands, and Erha unfortunately assists in the play for BLG, giving Elk another death.
Kind of this very high octane jungler who wants to help out the bot lane, wants to get around the map. Jiejie actually does have the second highest KP of all junglers, so he really wants to make sure that he is the guy. So it really puts emphasis on needing to have a solid early to mid game here for Elk, and so far it's not a solid early game as Zika. Oh boy.
Well, Schwinn was left behind, didn't get to ride with the Uber. Zika manages to flash away, still has public execution if they want to re-engage under the tower. And, I don't know if BLG intended to leave the Xinjiao behind, but Schwinn notices that Jiejie just uses Vault Breaker, forced to flash over the wall. He follows it up, sees him assist, buys some time. Zika, does he have public execution available? It's actually already been used, and On ensures that Jiejie goes down first, but it's traded back, and Zika gets the shutdown onto the Xinjiao. Erha now trying to lock up On. There's no magical journey for him to escape. Zenith Blade will connect. Zika needs to be able to get in range to start using his abilities. Xiaohu, can he join over the wall? Yes, he can. The shifting sands.
And very cautious about where they step. Xiaohu's not, though.
Xiaohu doesn't quite find the angle, and now forced to use the Ember's Divide just to push them away, but doesn't find anything. Forced to flash over the wall. Knight will follow thanks to the magical journey. The quick flash from On for the Cosmic Binding Slow, and the Empowered Room Prison. Knight will say, thank you very much, Tiger. I'll take that kill. The mid lane has Equalizer ready. Already past level 13, so that Equalizer being rank 2 is going to hurt a lot as long as they can get the lockdown prepped up for it. Tempered Fate goes wide. Elk sidesteps it. Bin is locked down by the Leona CC. Public execution on top. Bin flashes away to reposition. On is the first one to drop. Schwinn answers back. The Equalizer's great, but it's not that much damage coming through. Knight finally steps up and looks to turn it around, but Xiaohu is right on his tail. The flash from Elk looking for Schwinn as he flashes out of the piercing arrow's range, but Weibo have control, and they will deny the third dragon away from BLG.
Crucially, gets taken down way too low. He can't continue the fight, has to burn his flash as well. And so BLG just without any real
cover his little Tiger, make sure that he's not going down. Ember's Divide. Does he not know that everyone else is here? Oh no, Xiaohu went for the play.
Good
the
flash.
Equalizer goes completely wide. Good flash
No
by
way.
Xiaohu, as you called. Zika with the public execution. Temper Fate will hold him into stasis. He cannot follow up. Things looked incredibly dicey for both teams at various points, but it ends up with no one going down.
Yup. I mean, it started off rough there from Xiaohu, as now BLG are looking to go back in.
Going back in with the Realm Warp. Knight has a free access to Xiaohu on the right side. The rest of Weibo Gaming are forced off by the Crescent Guard. Xiaohu gets dropped. Erha will go next, and BLG try to rally around through Knight's rise. And just like that, Quacks, it's been a little bit messy, but BLG are tenacious, trying to push their advantage forward. Bin gets snagged by the Chain of Corruptions, but Elk gets dropped! He didn't have flash from the fight prior! Zika will trade on to Bin, but now there's no one else to defend this Mbessa from saving the turret, from saving his own life. They're juggling the turret aggro, but they finally take out the turret damage, and now there's nowhere else for Zika to run. He's trying to use his passive and the Drake Hound stance to make his grand escape, but it only ends up being a one-way trip.
Onto Weibo, and it just doesn't feel like they have the health bars necessary to fight back. Not to mention, Varus is super late to rejoin this fight as we're going back to live.
I remember this spot was detrimental to BLG, but they're the ones that get the first trap sprung onto Xiaohu and Jiejie. And with a clean execution on both the jungle and mid lane, and the Baron is up, this could be a free Baron for BLG.
Have a chance at being able to contest this. You can see Zika is on the bot side. We'll be able to get this turret, but it's a consolation prize at best right now, Rafa. BLG are running over this game with unrelenting aggression, and it's going to get a whole lot worse. All of them are kind of on a timer to make things happen. You can see they're looking for a cross map onto this top side. Just try and get some gold into these carries that desperately need it, so that when the soul rolls around in about 5 minutes time, they'll be better prepared. But I feel like it is still super difficult because there's a lot of standing gold on the map. There's still all tier 2s currently alive, so BLG can collect those with the Baron empowered minions.
Yeah, and now BLG have full control of this bottom jungle quadrant at the cost of losing a little bit of their top side, but these are the consolation prizes they are happy to give over, considering that Weibo Gaming don't really have any other choice in trying to fight BLG head on. Behind their backline to make sure that BLG cannot immediately jump on top of them. Solar Flare onto Knight. Cease and desist will follow up. The rest of BLG have to run. Emperor's Divide onto the golden left hand. He flashes to the right side. He makes it out alive. And Bin has teleported to the play. Knight's Realm Warp will reposition them on the left side, dodging out from Xiaohu's flank. And now BLG will run the rest of Weibo Gaming back to their second tier turret.
And BLG, another fight win now, will be able to take down that second tier turret that you mentioned, Rafa. And it felt like a little bit of a disjointed engage there from Weibo, because...
And if they're able to carry this momentum forward, Viper, flash and a cleanser available, but Temper Fate will stall this pick for now. Flash to the left. Arcane shifts backwards, and Schwinn makes the difference with the space. Knight is now the next target, but he cancels Jiejie's ulti with the stasis. Emperor's Divide doesn't push him all the way back. It was into the wall. He still goes down. Can Viper clean out this fight? Zika onto the backline, eliminates both carries, but Bin on, and Schwinn can still press the engage forward. And it's only their former teammate left alive on the side of Weibo Gaming. It might not be enough for BLG to push in for the end, but there is still a Baron to play for.
And unironically, Mark, that might have been Weibo's most successful engage this game so far, because they look onto Knight.
Because it looked kind of weird that Knight didn't get pushed all the way through with the Emperor's Divide, but...
It was a little weird.
It was definitely strange, but at the end of the day, Weibo still knocked down Knight and gave him his first death of the game, and the result is still the same.
Bit further, have his back and are able to reinforce him if things get a little bit dicey. That Baron buff is also still active, so they can continue the siege onto the outskirts of Weibo's base. I'm curious if there's going to be a trigger pull by either side, because I believe this Baron buff still has a minute and a half, so yeah, this turret is gone. If Weibo want to try and save their inhibitor, I feel like they're going to have to be the ones that pull the trigger, but we've seen it so many times, Rafa. It's really difficult to pull the trigger effectively against this BLG comp with how tanky even their backline is at this point.
Yep. No flash, no cleanse, no problem. Viper can still survive with an arcane shift and the items that he has gone for, giving him extra durability. I didn't see if he got the Endless Hunger yet, but if he does, I mean, the Omni-Van is so oppressive to deal with in a kit like this Ezreal. BLG have quickly done away with the inhibitor turret on the bot side. They move mid. Temper Fate does not land on Weibo Gaming, but it does push them back momentarily. Get some procs onto the plate. Solar Flare onto Bin. Chain of Corruptions, but good use of the Mikhails from On to save his top laner from any follow-up. The next minion wave pushes in. The inhibitor turret should fall on this push. The bot inhibitor is also suspect to dying. Rest of BLG being very clean in their siege and methodical. The type of play that BLG fans want to see for this 2026 roster.
Yep, double inhibitor, and now you can see the wave in top is stacking, is pushing, so they're going to look for a triple inhib. Weibo have to scramble to try and save that part, but look at the rest of the lanes. I mean, the minion wave is seeping in from the bot side. The mid lane wave is also pushed, and Bin has a flank.
The call is coming from inside the house. Bin with the equalizer cuts off their retreat path, and the rest of BLG can just swarm on in. Flamethrower turned up to 11 and burns down Erha, and the rest of BLG will put game 1 to rest, and they will now advance to match point in this series.
Elk waving hello to his former teammates from inside the base, because he can do not much else. His old support gonna keep him company in the fountain with his dead body.
maybe you wanted something that could be a little bit more aggressive early on, but because a lot of those prime early game jungler options were not available.
Yeah, he isn't looking for a 1-for-1 trade. He's looking for a 2-for-1 trade, but he gets spotted on a ward, and On is looking for a flank potentially onto him.
As soon as Knight moves, you know something's coming, and On commits the flash to make sure that he can get the headbutt pulverized. Didn't even need to use the flash. My mistake. It's just BLG punishing an overextended Jiejie.
And Xiaohu is walking up as well. His support is behind him, and On doesn't really have reinforcements, so there's no possible re-aggression coming out here from BLG, but it felt like a bit of greed there from Jiejie to try and look for those Raptors, steal something back in return, and he ends up getting punished for it because of that ward placed on the bot side mid bush. No, like you said, summoners needing to be expended, so just a quick little pick-me-up for
And we
Viper.
still have the first roam over to the Dragon. And cannot get in unless he flashes. Oh my goodness, that was a big gamble. He does not get the Dragon. Jiejie does secure it. Heroic entrance from Knight allows him to reposition with the rest of his team, and Weibo are now trying to threaten for a re-engage in the river. Oh, flash from On! Right into the taunt! What an alley-oop from BLG's mid-support combo! The rest of Weibo Gaming are forced to retreat.
I feel like Weibo had no right overstepping their bounds to try and look for a re-engage. On didn't use any of his engage tools.
Leash power, but Xiaohu only has a lost chapter. Not that much damage behind the full combo. Jiejie wants to step up. Darkened Blade 1. Already used 2. Rolled Ender.
Okay.
Elk pops the Killer Instinct, looking for his former jungler, and yep. Elk will be able to get his first kill of the game, and Weibo Gaming find an entry.
As Shun is looking again onto bot lane.
There's no flash on this Nico, but man, another great Tangle Barbs, and Elk saying, yeah, nice try, bro. Try again. Oh, On definitely will try again. There's another thumbs up as Elk is forced to flash away from the headbutt pulverized combo. Heroic entrance over the top just to guarantee the dive goes well. And Elk is really appreciating all the fans coming to the bot lane saying, listen, I can sign autographs all day if you want.
Visage is so good at being able to tank up any of the punish that Syndra brings down on you, but it will allow him to be a little bit more threatening with those pick tools on the Scatter the Weak and toward that backline with his ult.
So much. Oh, On with another pulverized flash onto a flashless Jiejie, and Knight is right there to follow up on the play. The taunt scatters Weibo Gaming members. Erha forces the pop blossom for a re-engage. Elk is back into the fray with the Killer Instinct. They're able to trade one. Can Xiaohu look for On while Knight forces Elk back? On finally pops the Unchained, and now On is trying to use this damage reduction to bait Xiaohu in for another pick from Knight. Decent damage out. This is a Hollow Radiance rush, by the way, and still this thing packs a wallop behind it.
Yeah, but they're going to be able to disengage, get away from Knight's Galio, and the supports having a little bit of a competition of their own in Mark, seeing who can get the one. Looking to maybe try and get one for game number 2 here, as now he is just completely guarding this Dragon entrance.
Scatter the Weak, but he uses the headbutt pulverized combo to get out of the Infernal Chains. Heroic entrance for another knockup, and Jiejie, his world is gone. And the rest of Weibo Gaming don't have a jungler to use anymore to contest for this Dragon. BLG should be easily able to secure it.
Yeah, Jiejie is having a lot of struggles on this Aatrox jungle so far, just because it's so difficult to walk into this area.
Oh, great Scatter the Weak, though, from Xiaohu, and flashing away. Unleash Power says good night to Shun, and Elk picks up the kill. What a flash from Knight, 3-man taunt into the Justice Punch, but no one can get through the choke. And Erha with the Pop Blossom doesn't hit anyone, but it prevents BLG from being able to follow up on the play. Always a great attempt for Knight, but Weibo Gaming hold their formation strong, and they're looking for the follow-up. On gets dropped. Xiaohu picks it up. Elk is able to get his revenge on the Viper, and Knight is forced to flee.
And Knight looking to run away. Xiaohu is going to be able to catch up, but he's face-checking. You're face-checking, Xiaohu, no!
Oh boy, Knight gets the better end of the old man in the mid lane, saying, all right, Tiger, get back down. Grubs have been split 2-1 for BLG favored. Dragon split apart 1-1. We even get a replay of what happened topside. What happened topside?
So, Finn. Oh no! Oh no!
Shout out to Dokla, 100 Thieves. BLG, heroic entrance over to join up with On and Viper. Here comes the unstoppable onslaught from Zika. Decent taunt from Knight, but he is isolated from the rest of his team because everyone's trying to dogpile onto the Rift Herald. Well, you might as well commit if you drop your mid laner like that, and they do end up getting it anyway, but the rest of Weibo Gaming going to try to push into mid-tier 1, get as many plates as they can before BLG regroup.
And crucially, Jiejie manages to survive in that fight as well. On the spoiler alert, it has not been pretty. Jiejie has been on the receiving end of all of those beatings, as he does pick up the second dragon. And BLG, really without a contest, they don't even attempt to hit the dragon. Instead, are just gonna go for the herald. But this isn't even gonna kill the turret. So BLG with a very meager couple of plates here as their reward after the Drake is taken by Weibo.
Yeah, I was curious to see if BLG were trying to get in to just block Weibo Gaming from rotating as quickly over to the mid lane. It's kind of a half and half play, not really successful, but if you're a BLG fan, I think you're very grateful that BLG just didn't send it unnecessarily. One of the things that we've talked about for BLG before this series was when they were
members of BLG, such as Viper and even Shun, I would say, who's getting a little less tanky as the minutes go by.
Got to be a little careful in this area, but he's trying to link up with On for the collapse, and Elk using the killer instinct, but he's hit back
get him
in
over
by
the wall.
On, but can no one get in there? Heroic entrance. Actually, it's the Grim Deliverance from Bin. Looks for Elk. Just one more on attack. The flash committed forward. BLG put everything into shutting down Elk's Kaisa, and the rest of Weibo Gaming is starting to collapse around his corpse. Zika, nowhere else to run, has a flash available, but trying to use this Science health bar as much as possible. Gets jumped on by Shun. The rest of BLG trying to follow up on the play. Decimating smash at the ready. Maybe it was a little too far for BLG. The gold deficit has been shored up off of a great pick from BLG, but Weibo Gaming still have numbers in supply on this mid lane.
Yeah, BLG, credit where credit is due. I thought the play was not going to go their way because we saw On really commit to trying to stick onto Elk, and Elk was maneuvering that fight very, very well, but then Bin arrives on the end up just Grim Deliverances over the wall, and yeah, Elk can't cover the distance.
The TP was bought with enough time from BLG to stall. BLG top laner makes it happen. Looks like, though, in the live, Weibo Gaming are able to take out this tier 1 turret. Gives them a little bit more access to map control. Yeah, oh, Zika. I don't know where Zika dropped, but a decent trade. Maybe it was on the top side of the map. Weibo Gaming exchanges life for map control, but now BLG starting to push into this top side jungle quadrant with vision control.
And Salt in the Wound there from Shun manages to steal away the big chicken, and he steals away the Krugs, a majority of them at least. I think Jiejie might have gotten a couple of small ones. That's just wounding the jungler pride right there. Needed if BLG really want to return to the heights that they saw.
And for Weibo Gaming on the other side, they are starting to try and show their power once they have this lead. Jiejie trying to jump on the Shun, but there is no damage done. Just an excellent use of that Aegis Assault. And he blocks all the incoming damage, and Jiejie on this Aatrox. We said it before, 2 items should be the strongest point for an Aatrox jungle at this point. Gets no value whatsoever. Now Weibo have to flip on this Baron, even without a smite from their jungler.
Yeah, Weibo, I mean, they can look to try and fight here, but On still has his ultimate, so he can just play bodyguard here for so long. Knight is also on the side, so he's ready to ult in if things go dicey.
Zika's trying to create space right now, but as long as you just get it down to critical moment, Shun can secure the Baron with the smite. Erha on the left side looks for the Pop Blossom into the back line. Viper might be in trouble. Viper is executed by Xiaohu, but the heroic entrance from Knight allows him to reposition and replay with his team. Bin is getting dropped low, but doesn't die quite yet. Great scatter of the week. Elk looks for the killer instinct, finds the Zahan in the back line, and now Elk has to play with everything he's got left in the tank. Looks for Shun, but it's a Comet Spear that puts him down.
No mana!
Xiaohu, no mana to be able to unleash orbs. Only has 1 more left, and Zika tries to run Shun out, but he's too fast. Jiejie arrives back to the play, and Knight might not be able to make it out of this one. Shun, you're crazy. You're crazy, Shun. Shun, you're crazy. But Xiaohu, like you said, he has no mana, so he has to flash away from the Pantheon. And Knight, don't tell me he makes it away from this Jiejie Aatrox. No, whoa, I thought the Grand Starfall was about to be used. Oh my goodness, this game
He's gonna do it!
Is crazy. TP, they want Xiaohu, scatter the weak is available, but he has Aegis Assault to block that damage. BLG bide their great punish.
Shun and Knight walk up to secure the kill. They don't want to let Xiaohu get away. And now the death timers are super desynced on the side of Weibo. They're all respawning, but they don't have a mid laner. Dragon is up in 10 seconds or so, and BLG are getting all onto the map, and Knight's in trouble.
Knight has the stasis, blocks the Pop Blossom, and oh boy, Weibo Gaming just lost 2 members total. Jiejie was the first one to fall. Zika arrives with the unstoppable onslaught, and Elk is able to burn down On's Alistar, but the dragon has spawned, Quacks, and Weibo Gaming now, once again, they don't have their jungler up to contest for this objective.
Yup, they don't have an Aatrox. They are completely in favor of getting this Drake, denying the soul from Weibo. The win con
caught, allows BLG to get the Baron, and then is caught again, denying what should have been a Hextech soul. Zika forced to use the unstoppable onslaught just to escape what was a pull from BLG and trying to make this pick. Tier 2 turret falls. Xiaohu makes some space, and Weibo Gaming are starting to slowly lose grasp on this game. Shun looking for Erha. Weibo Gaming right behind him. The Infernal Chains will pull him right back into the decimating smash. Shun gets dropped and loses the GA. Weibo Gaming, can they follow up? Erha readying the Pop Blossom. Quick flash from Shun. Now On's into the back line. The heroic entrance is set up for a massive knockup. Jiejie caught out once again. This Aatrox has got no value whatsoever, and BLG are punishing every single time. The rest of Weibo are down to 3. What can BLG do for the rest of the death timers here?
They don't have a Baron buff up, and Xiaohu is still available, but I don't think the wave clear from him is going to be enough to stop BLG from at least knocking down this inhibitor in the mid lane, and potentially moving on to the top side, as that wave is also incoming. Bin working in that lane to try and free space up over there. But yeah, these fights are just so difficult for the Aatrox to play out. He's not tanky enough, really, even with the World Ender, even with the extra bit of healing that you get off of popping that ultimate. He isn't in a position where he can actually withstand the pressure.
BLG are starting up the Baron once again with all 5 members of Weibo ready to collapse. Knight pushing on the bot side, has TP ready. Blast Cone already expended by Bin.
They immediately peel off the Baron. Jiejie's over the pit. I think they're just gonna try to focus on it with the rest of Weibo are here.
On's on Zika! That's not the target that you want! On goes down for nothing! Weibo Gaming are able to collapse onto the support, and now it's their turn to maybe look at the Baron. But there's a super minion wave pouring through mid. Knight already collapsed in using the teleport. Weibo Gaming have gotten a variety of spells already burned by BLG. You can just take it slow and go towards the Hextech soul that is now spawned.
It's 4v5. Knight is really the only solid frontliner that BLG have at this point. My eyes are on Viper. He's got the flash. He's got the transcendence. It's his time to unleash.
Pop Blossom misses. Knight is able to dodge it out. Shun goes into the backline with his
Viper
Red
on the
Star
side.
Ball. It is completely crazy, but Xiaohu's the first one to drop. Viper assassinated him. Jiejie is being popped. Grim Deliverance over the side. Elk is forced out of the fight. Shun dies to Jiejie. The World Ender. Can he secure the exit zone before it goes down? And BLG thrive in the chaos when it matters most and upset Weibo's chances.
Zika, he's gonna ult away. He's gonna take a train ride over to Narnia, because going back to his base, that's a risk in and of itself. Knight is on the flank.
Flash taunt onto Elk. Good night to the Kaisa. And BLG are gonna take this wave, push it into the base. We'll see how far they can go. On is preventing Zika from being able to base. I don't know if it'll be enough for BLG to end the game, but they're going to try, Quacks. They want to look for the sweep. They want to start off this final last 2 series off strong. Bin takes out the last Nexus turret. Erha takes out 1. Knight and Bin just have to hit. You have to let them hit. Erha can't do anything to stop them. Bin is playing with fire. Jiejie has respawned with World Ender. Can't look for it. BLG sweep Weibo 2-0.